guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I have the story for you. This story I'm going to go over truly is the story of the week, if not the story of the entire month, to finish off the year. I kid you not, guys, this story is the worst example of a white knight, Captain Save a you-know-what I've ever heard. Maybe you guys have heard worse, but for me, this is the worst. What I'm going to go over is from an email that was sent from a subscriber. And he's going to share his story about what actions he did and events that happened 11 years ago when he met some very pretty gal online. This dude was living in Canada, and he was somehow started talking to her online. She's from California, this really hot redhead who had some problems. Particularly problems with guys in bad relationships, things that led one dude in jail and things like that. That type of girl. And this guy took it upon himself to save her because, she is the poor innocent victim of all the problems because of the guys. Not because she actually chooses those guys and is attracted to those types of guys and the drama it brings. This guy puts himself through so much crap because of her. And ultimately, this guy was just young and inexperienced and didn't know any better. So I go over stories like these, many types of stories you guys know about, to help guys, to share these stories so that you don't make the same mistakes that these guys do. And of course, let's be honest here, it's entertaining as all hell. We'll be honest here. And I gotta say this, guys, to the guy that wrote this, even though there's going to be many times in this story that I would literally like to jump in the time machine and find him and slap the shit out of him for his actions, I respect the fact that he had the balls to send me this story because he knows I'm going to speak my mind about his actions back then. And he obviously knows darn well you guys are going to pretty much crucify him in the comment section. But he's got balls for sending it in, so I respect that. And obviously he's learned a lot of things since. So he's trying to help guys out. So keeping that in mind, guys, grab your morning coffee, grab your beer, grab your popcorn, whatever you want for entertainment, because this is a good one. It starts, he says, Dear Strong Successful Male, I've been a subscriber to your channel for 2 years now, and I never miss an episode. I love the slaps in the head, back to reality to keep me on my purpose. Well, thank you for your support, bro. 2 years, that's about the time I started the channel. I wanted to share you a crazy engagement with an even crazier red-headed single MOM that I met online. Please keep my name private as it's linked to my successful practice. Your secret is safe with me, dude. But back in 2010, I was a nice blue pill guy, never been in a serious relationship, and for 2 years was heavily in online dating and the forums. In 2009, I started chatting with a typical Californian stunning redhead as just friends while I was dating in Ontario, Canada. Online relationships, online dating, what the hell? If you're going to do that, why not actually go out with a physical human in your area? Why the hell are you wasting all your time with some broad that you're talking to online? There's a reason she's online, looking for attention. And you don't know, she could be putting up pictures of herself looking stunning, but she could be this 400-pound human Jabba the Hutt looking thing living in a trailer in Alabama. You don't know that. I don't get why these guys do that. And the worst yet, the ones that actually get with these types. Because of the long distance, I didn't want to pursue anything with her, and she began to cyber stalk me and offering herself if I ever wanted to come to California. I was open but hesitant because of a few red flags. Well, you should have paid attention to those red flags and you wouldn't have gone through all the suffering which I know you're going to go through. She was a single MOM and her ex-husband was in jail for, wait for it, abuse. Even telling me certain gory details that they did in the bedroom with a knife handle where the sun doesn't shine. Needless to say, I was shocked and accepted that she was helpless and he was an evil man into a dangerous, crazy stuff. But that's what she was really attracted to. They're not helpless. Okay? The types that are attracted to these types of guys that are go to prison or do all these awful things and all that, typically, a lot of situations, that's usually what these gals grew up with. Maybe their father was that way. Maybe their uncles, brothers, grandfathers. They grew up in a shitty situation. A situation that you don't need to bring into your life, guys. Unfortunately, these guys have watched too many movies and have the hero complex, and they want to go rescue these poor, sweet, and innocent damsels in distress. They bring this crap on themselves. And this guy obviously learns this down the road, as many of you guys have learned if you've been the white knight Captain Save a you-know-what. But the crap guys go through to think they're saving the girl. She knows what she's getting into. She likes this. Come on here. You know, everybody can make the mistake once. But when it's multiple times, as you're going to see, no. He says, and as a volunteer firefighter and paramedic, I always wanted to be a hero and save lives, and in dating, been attracted to damaged women and definitely a Captain Save a you-know-what, blah, blah, blah. At least you can admit it. Well, as a volunteer firefighter and as a paramedic, number one, thank you for that. You're a very brave dude doing what a lot of guys won't do, but there's plenty of people you can save in that line of work. You don't need to go into the whole, in the dating field, do that. Well, I found out she was dating someone else off and on from a friend of hers that's added me on Facebook. He was a Marine that came back from Iraq. She framed it, he was an ex she was dating in 2009. But he was, wait for it, abusive. And they broke up but remained friends. Oh, okay, so he was a bad guy and abusive and all that, but they still remained friends. Sounds like she wanted to keep him in her life to maintain the drama. And obviously she likes these types of dudes hooking up with them. I know she was dating other guys before we agreed to be an online relationship. Dude, that was the dumbest shit I've ever heard. An online relationship. Again, if you want a relationship, meet with a physical human being in your area. I'm assuming you're not butt ugly. I'm assuming you're not 500 pounds and can't leave your house because obviously you're a paramedic and firefighter. So you got to be in decent shape. So why do this online relationship thing? It's ridiculous. I couldn't judge as I was dating others in Canada as well and talked about other dates with each other, good and bad, to give each other advice. But when she dated a drug addict in the spring of 2010 that she broke up with, but he came back and S-word assaulted her, and the police were involved as he kept her hostage in her home for over a day. So we got the ex in jail, prison, the Marine who came back, who's obviously a lot of problems there. Now we got a guy who is an addict and more problems and the police involved and all that. You're noticing a pattern here. Dude, you said you saw red flags in the beginning. These are signs to run. Say, hey, it was nice talking to you, but you know what? I'm moving on. Wish you all the best. Click and block her and never talk to her again. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out that way. Does this seem insane, guys? I thought she definitely needed a new start, and I felt sorry for her. Smack. But knowing what I know now, she chooses these types of men. Exactly. After over a year chatting, gaming, and Skyping online, we started making plans to meet up that turned into plans of her coming over to Canada and afterwards to stay with me. You're going to bring this nut job into your life? It's bad enough you're talking to her online, but now you're planning to actually get with her? Dude, she will bring all this stuff into your life, okay? She won't be used to something that's smooth and easy. She wants drama. She wants turmoil because that's what she's used to. That's what she's attracted to. Or she's using you. Keep that in mind. Then a month before our first meeting, she started love bombing me and making plans about our future together. 6 months in Canada in the summertime and 6 months in California during winter, I allowed back then without a visa, which sounded idyllic as I could get a dual passport and work in both countries as an EMT. I was planning to come over for Thanksgiving and stay to after the holidays. When she called me early in the morning that she never did because the long distance costs, and I would call her with a U.S. calling card to reduce the cost. That her ex-Marine ex-boyfriend found out about us on Facebook, and she claimed to be in a relationship with me and got jealous, broke into her place from a window, and knocked her out in October. I was in panic mode and called her local police to claim the report for her, but she refused to. Oh, imagine that. She also refused to get a restraining order and said the police would do nothing and wouldn't believe her and just wanted to leave. And she wanted to leave with California with me to Canada. So she doesn't want to report him. Oh, it's not his fault. I rushed to book a flight for her with no return flight as we planned to drive her car to Canada and do a road trip on the way. Well, when I was planning to fly to California, I was screened for issues with my return to Canada and needed to prove I have a job and residency that I'm not planning to stay in the U.S. illegally. which caused me to miss my flight and would drive my truck there, and we can take 2 vehicles back with proof I needed that I will return to Canada in 4 weeks. Okay, so now you're starting to lose money over her. You lost your ticket to fly out there. So he decides to drive from Canada to California to come rescue the damsel in distress. What a hero. Because I didn't sleep the night before, because I had an EMT night shift, because my flight was canceled, I was awake for 30 hours by the time I was allowed across the border. I was planning to stop in Michigan to sleep before I drove the long ride to California, and ended up falling asleep at the wheel and crashed my truck into an underpass on the I-90 going 80 miles an hour, which totaled my truck and gave me a concussion. I was checked out in an ambulance, ironic as I was a paramedic, and insisted I was fine and dropped it off at the Greyhound station to continue to California. I know now this was a sign to go home and forget her, gee, you think? But driven by adrenaline and determination to keep promises, I pressed on. So let's review. You've wasted years of your time with this chick, all this drama, all this turmoil in her life, but yet you want to save her. Then you're going to go out to go see her to rescue her. You miss your flight, you lost money on your plane ticket. Then with no sleep, you got in the car because you got to rush as fast as possible to California and save her. You fall asleep at the wheel, crash your car, almost die, destroy your vehicle, and yet you're as fast as you can up to the Greyhound bus station to go save her. So your car is destroyed, you lost money on the plane ticket, tons of money here. If there's not a sign from the universe to go away and back off from this girl, I don't know what is. But Mr. White Knight continues on his journey. 3 days later, I arrived at the bus station in her town, and she came to pick me up 2 hours later after I told her I was there. Oh, that was very thoughtful of her. You've traveled all this way, destroyed your truck, and she took her sweet time to come pick you up. Probably because she had to make other arrangements. Unable to shower and only use public washrooms, I tried to make myself as well looking as I could with a suit I bought with me. You switched clothes and put on a suit to meet this girl? If that doesn't scream, I'm trying too hard, I don't know what is. Smack. And she showed up in sweatpants that had juicy on the back and flip-flops, noticeably a bit overweight. Still curvy, but not how she looked in pictures and online on camera using filters. Ah, so she doesn't quite look as good, as stunning as she was in her pictures. And notice he said sweatpants and it says juicy on her butt. Girls that dress like that, that pretty much says it all. I mean, as if her behavior already hasn't said it all here. All the signs are there, bro. I don't know what to tell you. She hugged me, loaded my luggage, and drove to her low-cost one-bedroom apartment in a bad neighborhood. Well, there's a surprise. It's Monday morning. I need my morning coffee. You guys, you coffee drinkers out there, are you Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks? Let me know in the comments section. How do you drink your coffee? I drink black coffee. Ever since I was 21, did something really stupid. It's always black coffee. Let me know. I'm curious. I know I'm not getting I'm not getting money from Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks. I just love Dunkin' Donuts coffee. It continues. After a few days together and dates to her favorite bars, I had a party with her friends at her place. She proposed to me in front of everyone. Feeling trapped as I wasn't ready, but knew if I said no, it would embarrass her in front of her friends. So she would want me gone, and all the sacrifices I did to spend time with her, losing my truck, cost of the plane ticket, bus tickets, and time off work would be for nothing. I'd be out in the street without a way home, as I didn't have a ticket to fly home and didn't want to spend another 3 days on a bus. But that would have been the best decision, as I got worse after we hooked up that night. So she proposed to you, and you accepted even though you knew it was wrong. If she was a normal person, she wouldn't throw you out in the street or anything like that. You gotta ask yourself a question. Why is she rushing all this? What could be going on behind the scenes? 2 days after the proposal, she updated her Facebook account as engaged. And we planned to start a road trip to Canada after Thanksgiving, but wanted to go to her favorite bar again, where I ran to her ex-Marine ex-boyfriend, or rather he ran full force into me. It took 3 guys there to get him off me in a chokehold, and while I was recovering, she went off with him to talk. It is no accident that he happened to be there at the bar you went to, and she put on Facebook. She wanted him to see this. She wanted the drama. She wanted the turmoil. And after he attacked you and tried to beat you up, she went to go there, him. Even though you're supposed to be engaged, she went to go there, him. Are you picking up on something? Is it possible maybe she's using you to make him jealous? I told the bartender to call the police to charge him for attacking me. After almost an hour, my fiance, he says in quotes, returns to the bar and told me in so many words to go stay in a hotel. He is crazy and jealous and will off you if he sees you at my place. I refused and told her we should just leave now and go together. She kept bringing up excuses like she's having plans for family on Thanksgiving, and anywhere she goes, the ex will track her phone anywhere they go, and didn't want to ditch her phone or turn off the signal with airplane mode as she needed it to keep in contact with family and friends. I agreed to leave, but told her to call the police if the ex showed up, and she agreed, but lied. Imagine that. Excuse after excuse after excuse to drag this thing out. I stay in the parking lot with a view of her door. I see her open the door at 3 a.m. and peek out and shut the door. Then a few minutes later, and the ex shows up. I try to confront him, but he was wielding a baseball bat, and I quick ducked away to call the police. So you stayed out there in front of her place, awake, watching her front door to 3 o'clock in the morning. Again, the white knight, Captain Saver, you know what? She wants this life. She wants the turmoil. She wants the drama. Come on, man. And then you're going to go confront this crazy guy who has a baseball bat? I hope you have something else to protect yourself that's more powerful than a baseball bat, or you're in trouble. Guys like this are going to go to prison. Well, I think this dude did go to prison. He's nuts. You're not. Well, you're acting nuts, but you're not nuts. He says, when the police showed up, the ex was nowhere to be seen on the property, at least outside. My now ex-fiance texted me, are you all right? I told her the ex showed up, and I called the police and asked if he was at her place. She said no, to send the police away, or they will arrest us for a false call. She wouldn't open the door, and I just waited outside her door as the cops left, and she said she's going to sleep, and she would see me in the morning. Mind you, this is supposedly his fiance who proposed to him, but I'll see you in the morning. I'm going to go back to bed, but you can go sleep in your car. And this dumbass does this. I couldn't go to sleep as the sun started coming up. I peeked her bedroom window, and she wasn't there with her baby asleep in the crib. Oh yeah, I forgot that this nut job is also a single MOM. And I gotta say single MOM because I've done videos before where I actually said that, and YouTube didn't like it very much and demonetized or flagged my video. No joke, bros. I hear talking at the front door and knocked, and sure enough, a half-naked or so the ex stops out and yells, what the hell are you doing here? Give up, she's mine, and slams the door. My mind races if she's being held hostage again like her ex-boyfriend that was a drug addict, and he is a S-word assaulting her. So the Marine's back in her room butt naked with her. Gee, what could be going on? I'm sure she doesn't want this at all. She's a total victim here. You are being played and used, and I cannot believe you fell for this shit, dude. I call the police again for a hostage situation. 4 police show up, and they start getting the real story or the games she was playing. They almost got me arrested for calling the police again for the wrong reasons. But they let me go, drive me to the airport to be deported. Bro, you deserve me laughing at you. You deserve me giving you a hard time. And I respect you for saying this story. You had the balls to do it. I respect you for that. But holy crap, this is why I said this is the worst story I've ever heard in terms of the Captain Save HOE White Knight. Oh my God. See, guys, this is a great story to learn from this guy's mistakes. The truth, I found out that my so-called innocent single MOM, his fiance, was using me to get her ex-Marine ex-boyfriend jealous, to either commit to her or use me to have her a better life somewhere else to support her in California. There you go. This whole thing was a sham. The whole thing was to use you to make her nutjob Marine jealous. That's it. These types use guys all the time for the guys they really want. All this time he wasted on her, all this money, almost dying in a car accident, almost probably getting his butt kicked, if not worse. He did all this to save some poor, sweet... She knew what she was doing the whole time. She's attracted to guys like this. You were used for attention, validation, money, and of course, right there, to make that guy jealous to commit. In her mind, you're nothing. In her mind, she's young, she's pretty, although not as pretty as obviously she once was, and you're a pawn. Guys, you cannot let yourselves fall for these tricks, these games, this BS. And so many of you guys do, or have. And you wouldn't have found me if you weren't frustrated by things like this that happen in your life. But hopefully this guy's story will help you out. But we're not done yet. He says she would apologize afterwards and ask for help for money. Of course. In her mind, if you're dumb enough to fall for the other crap, you'll keep falling for it. And to buy her a plane ticket, and I bought her a plane ticket, but then she used the money on herself, saying stuff that I haven't paid taxes in the last 2 years, and I got a letter that if I don't pay, I'll be charged with a criminal record, and I can't come to Canada or bring my car, or my car wouldn't start, and need to get it fixed to drive to Canada. So in other words, after all that went down and he was deported, still, she's asking for money. He gave it to her, bought her a plane ticket, which he then cashed in and said that, pretty much just jerking him around. I gladly realize that no matter how emotional a gal gets crying and pleading of the troubles due to their own fault, it's their best way to get a man to give them whatever they want from any idiot that believes them. Yes, exactly. I'm glad you've learned this. You certainly went through a lot of hell to learn this lesson. He says, now after consuming a lot of RP content, I have a successful medical practice as a surgeon, and I'm very happy with my single life that I've worked very hard for. I learned the hard way not to give an inch to a gal or she will take a mile from you and will lose everything in time the more you give. Yes, exactly. Now, don't get me wrong. Not all are like this. I'm going to make this abundantly clear. There are good ones out there, but they're becoming more and more rare as the days pass. But yes, but you could tell this girl was a piece of garbage from the get-go. Anybody with that... But the problem was he was blinded... First of all, he didn't have any experience and he was young. Two, he was blinded by his attraction to her pictures and her very filtered pictures and video of her. And think, oh, I'm going to get some. And of course, his hero complex. And where does that come from? Think about it. Honest to God. But guys got to learn. But you know what? We've all made mistakes. I don't think anybody's made mistakes like this. But we've all made mistakes. We look back and it's like, ah, shit, why'd I say that or why'd I do that? I've made mistakes. Nothing like this dude, but I've made mistakes. And this is how we learn. He says, keep up the good work. The more the truth about female nature is known to the majority of men, then maybe the more women will have to treat men fairly to get any relationship. Yes. Guys, as the saying goes, they hold the keys to sex. We have the keys to relationships. Problem is, you got so many guys out there that have like that much of self-esteem, that much of self-worth, that they'll settle for anything and put up with anything because to them it's better than being alone. And that maybe if they get occasional tail, then it's good enough for them. No. You work hard to make yourself a guy that has value and options, that respects yourself, and no gal can ever take advantage of you. Do you understand that? Or you simply just have nothing to do with them. But a lot of you guys, deep down, whether you admit it or not, want to actually have a girl in your life, whether it be just casual dating, relationships. I certainly hope not marriage at this juncture. But when you build yourself up to be that level that you have a lot of self-respect and you care for yourself and you know that it's, hey, I'm better being alone than putting up with any shit, you're never going to tolerate any crap and you're not going to be disrespected, because the second anybody disrespects you or tries to take advantage of you, they're out of there. Done. No one's ever going to mess with you again because you're never going to tolerate it. But until you get to that point, this type of crap can happen. This is why I encourage guys to do everything they can to better their lives on so many levels. He says, keep up the good work, blah, blah, blah. Our property will be really cheap as the birth... I'll always read this, guys. Keep up the good work. The more truth the guys know about female nature, known to the majority of men, that maybe one day more and more women will have to treat men fairly in a relationship, or property will be really cheap as the birth rates keep falling. With no more families, people live far away from each other, and we return to an agrarian way of life to survive the fall of Rome 2.0. Well, we're in Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0, that's for certain, and I hope we don't have a equivalent to the fall of Rome, because quite frankly, I don't want to deal with that shit. But anyhow, there you go, guys. I wasn't kidding when I told you this is the worst Captain Saving you-know-what story I've ever heard. But let this be a lesson to you. Now, the guy said he's doing well now, learned his lesson, so good. bro, I'm really happy that you're doing well. He said he's a surgeon. He has his own practice. Awesome. I hope you're doing great. And I'm sure after that whole fiasco, you never made that mistake again. Good for you. And again, believe me, I wanted to jump in there and slap the shit out of you the first couple times I read this story, but you learned. But again, thank you for sharing your story. You had the balls to send me your story, knowing darn well what I would say. And believe me, as I'm about to finish this video, I can only imagine the comments that are going to be from dudes around the world. But it is what it is. This is how we learn, and we are a community here. So thank you, sir. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Comment away. And guys, as I say, if you have a good story you'd like to share, something you experienced, good, bad, or ugly, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Make sure you write it really well, easy for me to read, and down the road, I will certainly do it. And just be patient, because I get a lot of these things all the time. And also, if you come across a really great article, again, by all means, send me the article. If it relates to stuff I talk about on this channel, I'll definitely use it if I can. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.